Okay, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. All right, guys, it's Sunday, December 22nd, and it is 10:29 p.m. Eastern Time. We do have Q posts, so I'm going to get into those first, and afterwards, hopefully, I'll still be able to do another news program as well. So I'm hoping to get 2 videos out tonight. That's the plan anyway. All right, hope you guys are doing well and that you're all getting ready for Christmas. It's a lot to get ready for Christmas. I really enjoy it, but I also enjoy it when it's done. I enjoy getting ready for it. I enjoy Christmas, but I enjoy when it's done as well. So anyway, all right. Now I want to thank a few people before we get started here, and then we're going to jump right into the Q post for today. And I want to thank Robin R. from West Virginia and David A. Thank you very much. Q Angel 17, thank you. I like that moniker that you have there. And Joseph I. So thank you guys very much. They all donated via coffee, and I appreciate it so much, especially at this time of year. And a new Patreon, Beverly F. Woohoo! So thank you guys so much, and let's get started. All right. Now, this is the first drop from today. It is post 3740, and the title is To Be Determined. All right, so the first thing we have here is a link, and then Q says something big is coming. So let's go take a look at the first link that he wants us to see, and let's go out there now. Now, forgive me for a second. I just want to make sure that everything is all right here because my time is at a premium, so I want to be sure that everything's recording, and it is. So that's good. All right. So forgot where I was there for a second. All right. Now, oh, actually, I guess I already had that up here. And let me get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, so this is by someone calling themselves Woke Society. Q called this back in July. He certainly did. News broke today. What's he talking about? Well, this is a drop from July 9th, 2019, and it is drop 3389. And the drop said, did Admiral Rogers retire so he can be called as a witness in John Durham's Spygate investigation? Now, back in July, we were probably not even thinking along those lines. I wasn't, that's for sure. And this says AG, Attorney General, and Rogers meeting. Durham and Rogers meeting, plural. Why did Rogers retire? Why did Rogers visit POTUS at Trump Tower without authorization shortly after a skiff was installed? They had a skiff installed at Trump Towers, but it was bugged, and so Admiral Rogers visited Trump. If you'll remember way back, this is going back a long way in Q-dom, I don't know what you call it, but in Q time, I guess. And he warned Trump, and then afterwards, of course, they moved from Trump Towers because of that. So Rogers did visit POTUS and did warn him that he was being spied on, which he was, and then it says, why did select former ABC directors, you know what the ABC agencies are, the letters, the ones with letters, directors call for the removal of Rogers? They probably knew he was pro-Trump. At least they probably knew that he was passing this information along to Trump, because why else would Trump have just pulled out of Trump Tower and decided, no, we're not going to meet here. Why did POTUS move his Transition Command Center base of operations from Trump Tower the very next day? Well, of course, if I had my base of operations someplace and I was running for something as important as the President of the United States, and somebody as high up as Admiral Rogers came and said, by the way, they've got this place bugged and they're spying on you. Yeah, I would leave the very next day as well and make sure that wherever I was going, could not or was not bugged. So we learned about this way back in July, and look what is in the news on December 20th. Former NSA director is cooperating with probe of Trump Russia investigation. And who is that former NSA director? That would be Admiral Rogers. He is cooperating with probe of Trump Russia investigation. So will he be called as a witness in John Durham's Spygate investigation? I would assume absolutely. Absolutely. I would be extremely surprised if he was not. It would not even make sense if he was not. But time will tell. But I think that that is where it's headed. And I think that that is what Q is letting us know. That, first of all, this is another Q proof because Q called this way back in July. And it's happening now. Second of all, he is letting us know that the reason, I think he is letting us know that the reason that Admiral Rogers retired was so he could witness in John Durham's investigation. Yeah. All right, now let's go back here and finish with what Q is saying. He said something big is coming. Then he leaves another link, and it goes to Donald J. Trump's Twitter account, and I've cut that out for us, or clipped it out for us to make time go a little bit faster, or make it go faster. The Democrats and crooked Hillary paid for and provided a fake dossier with phony information gotten from phony sources, pushed it to the corrupt media and dirty cops, and have now been caught. They spied on my campaign, then tried to cover it up, just like Watergate, but bigger. So Q finishes it off here and says, do people really think this can happen with no consequences? Well, yes, I think a lot of people do, because I think we're tired of seeing these people get away with things. So I think that there's a lot of people that have almost given up hope and said, it's never going to happen. Now, I am not one of those people. I'll just have you know. I do believe that it will happen, that it is all progressing. And, there are certain things that have to be done before the next thing can be done, and things take time. And, but do I think that they're going to do I think that they're going to face the consequences? Yes, I do. Unless something catastrophic happens, I believe that they will face their, possibly some of them may face their maker as well, a little bit sooner than they had intended. I don't relish that. I'm not one of these people like, yeah, let him swing. I don't want anybody, I would prefer these people repent. I would prefer that they would be kept alive, and that they are, imprisoned and able to think about what they have done. And, death is not really much of a punishment, really. I'm just saying. Anyway, do people really think this can happen with no consequences? FISA equals start. Nobody is above the law. Not anymore. Q. So that is a good post, a great drop, and we are on to the next, which is 3741, and the title is To Be Determined. Again, from today. Why are the two articles being held by Pelosi? Now, we all know what he's talking about here. There are two articles of impeachment, and Pelosi is not giving them to the Senate. She's holding on to them, kind of like a quid pro quo, the very same thing that she blamed Trump for doing. That is exactly what she is doing, because she is saying, until I can be guaranteed of a fair trial. Well, did she give President Trump a fair trial in Congress, in the House? No. Anything but. But now she's concerned about a fair trial. more likely she knows that the Democrats have the majority in the Senate and that it will be tossed out. And she's saying, well, no, because I know it's going to be tossed out and I want it to be a fair trial. Well, hello. She wants it all ways and she can't have it. Q says, will holding actually impact the decision of the Senate? No. Why would it? I think the Senate's mind is already made up, but also I think that they are looking forward to this because then they can have a full trial, and it's not really for the sake of justice. It's for the sake of getting it out to the public. They want to hold a trial. They want to call in witnesses. They want it, put before the public and, dragged through the media so that they can get their talking points out there. That's exactly what they want to do. They're hoping that it's going to wake some people up. Hope so. Will holding actually provide a better scenario regarding public opinion to the Democrats? No, because the longer they hold it, the worse it gets for them. People already have a very, very low opinion. People are jumping ship from the Democrat Party like I've never seen before, not in my lifetime anyway. And so, no, it's going to make it seem worse because I think people are up to here with Pelosi and Schiff, really, and a few others. But those are the two main ones, in terms of the impeachment. And yeah, I think people have seen through this. Most people have seen through, maybe not most people, but most reasonable people have seen through this, and they're not pleased. They're not pleased. They've wasted a lot of American tax dollars for nothing. And what's going to be the outcome? Do you think Trump's going to be impeached? No. And there are people out there that are really not smart enough to realize that he's not impeached now. He's not impeached until he is. These are articles of impeachment, but the House can't impeach him. They can recommend impeachment, but they haven't impeached him. So, yeah, so many people, like, it's like on Twitter, you could see people going, yay, today's the first day without Donald Trump as president. I'm like, okay, well, I don't think anybody should tell him. Just let him make a fool of himself. Anyway, so why are the two articles being withheld? We know. Will holding actually provide a better scenario? Will holding actually sway select senators to change their vote? No. Do you think that, they haven't been able to convince them so far, so why would holding the articles of impeachment convince them anymore? It's not. I think reasonable people see through this, and what else can you say? When blackmail and threats no longer work, why are the two articles being held by Pelosi? Well, I think Pelosi realizes now that they've probably made a big error, because now what'll happen when it goes to the Senate, there's going to be a trial, and all of this stuff is going to come out, all of it. And I think she's holding the articles because I don't know if she knows what to do. She's saying, "Oh, I got to guarantee a fair trial." Well, I don't think that's it. I think that they know that they're going to look like the fools that they are, because there's going to be a trial, and they'll be able to call whatever witnesses they want, including Adam Schiff, including Pelosi, whoever they want, they'll be able to call, and they will. And I think that's what she's scared of. What happens when the articles of impeachment are sent from the House to the Senate? Well, then the Senate decides what to do with them, and whether there's going to be, they have a trial. They have a trial to see whether, and then they vote. They have a trial, and then they vote. Can the Senate conduct other business during this time? No, of course they can't. So essentially, Pelosi is tying up the Senate. when they have other more important business? Well, anything's more important than that. Heck, going to the bathroom's more important than that. I mean, really. So, yeah, no, they can't conduct other business. They're completely tied up. What value might exist by holding the articles? And how long do Senate impeachment trials normally take? Well, since this is only the third, I think only the third impeachment, if I'm correct, but I may not be, so don't quote me. But I don't know how long an impeachment trial would last, but I would assume that it would be a while, because they've got to call all these witnesses and they've got to have these witnesses all testify. And of course, nothing's going to be happening over Christmas. So I don't know. Yeah, and this is interesting. What statements have been made regarding timing? Think fast tracking. Remember how they wanted to get it to the Senate right away, because leaving President Trump in office like 1 second longer, the whole country was going to just be destroyed, completely destroyed, right? It was like an absolute emergency. They had to get him out of there. So why now? Why are they withholding them now? I mean, they were so concerned about fast tracking it and getting this over and getting him impeached. And so now their job's done. Hand the articles over to the Senate. But they won't. Why is that? When they were all like, blatting about fast tracking it. What statement has been made by Chairman Graham regarding Senate FISA hearings and witnesses? Well, that they will call whoever they want. Basically, I think that's what he's referring to. I know Graham said, look, we're going to call witnesses, and we're going to call Schiff, and they're going to call all these people, and the so-called, whistleblower. He will be called in, the Carmel guy. So yeah, why is Pelosi holding the 2 articles of impeachment? Well, I think we've gone over several reasons why. I don't know. Pelosi doesn't do anything of her own accord. She is a puppet, like I've said before, just a flap of skin with somebody else's hand up there making her mouth go wah, 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 wah. She does not have a mind of her own. She is controlled. Now, she has probably done that to herself, because she's probably opened herself up to being blackmailed. Now, somebody has something over her, and she is obeying what they're telling her to do. It's quite evident. So let's go on now. And the next is drop 3742. 3742. And again from today, title is To Be Determined. And we've got another link here, which we will go out to first. And this is hopefully going to answer some questions for us. Let's listen to Lindsey Graham. And I just, before I start this, okay, Lindsey Graham has the bluest eyes ever. And here, he has brown eyes. And I'm trying to figure, like, could this be lighting? Could this be this, be that? I don't know, but his eyes look very brown here. So, which leads me to question, is there more than one Lindsey Graham? We know there's more than one Hillary. That new Hillary that they have doesn't even look anything like her. And they say, oh yeah, she's had some work done. Fire your plastic surgeon. My gosh, she looks horrible. Doesn't even look like Hillary at all. Anyway, let's play this.
He said last week he was sorry. It was sloppy. No, call me, it wasn't sloppy, it was criminal. I'm going to call every person who signed the warrant application. I'm going to find out why Brennan went to Harry Reid in September of 2016 to talk about the investigation. I'm going to find out why it took 2 years for Mueller to realize there was no there. We're going to look long and hard at FISA abuse. We're going to pass laws to make sure this never happens again. Accountability will only be successful if somebody gets fired, and I'm looking at Christopher Wray to fire somebody at the FBI. and somebody needs to go to jail, and I'm looking at Durham to hold people criminally accountable for the laws they broke.
Well, you make a good point, and we've got a graphic here that shows everybody who signed those warrants, and you're saying each of these people you're going to call down to testify. That includes, obviously, James Comey signed the warrant 3 times. Sally Yates signed it once. You had Andrew McCabe, his deputy, signing it. Do we have that graphic? Sally Yates as well. All of those people you say you are going to call to testify as you continue to do this deep dive into what took place in 2016.
Yeah, there's 2 questions I want to ask these people. When you signed the warrant application, how much time did you spend trying to figure out if it was actually true? And how far up the chain did this go? Did President Obama know about the counterintelligence surveillance of the Trump campaign? Did Vice President Biden know? How much information was provided to Susan Rice? I want to know how far up the chain the investigation went. I want to know why so many people could sign a warrant application so flawed. So there's a lot of questions. I want to make sure this never happens again. To the American people, you deserve better than this. Every American should be worried about FISA. And to this impeachment debacle, to my Democratic colleagues, impeachment is a dead cat. Stop playing with it.
Yeah, why would you want to play with a dead cat? Poor thing. Anyway, so he's going to call in everybody that signed the FISA. And these people have to be, running out to buy more Depends, like constantly, because they've got to be, messing their pants pretty badly right about now. Seriously. They're caught, and they know they are. But what are they going to do? I don't know. What can they do? They started it. All right. Let's get back over here and finish. Why is Pelosi, and he's just reiterating this, why is Pelosi holding the 2 articles of impeachment? How do you introduce the truth about what happened to the public? Well, you call in these witnesses and have them testify, and people are going to be shocked, aren't they? They're going to be like, what? What value might exist by attempting to block public testimony or hearings? Well, the value of blocking it would be the fact that they don't want the public to know. They've been playing this little game with the American public and with the media, and they have got their narrative out there, and that's the only narrative they want out there. They don't want people to know the truth at all. They just want to get rid of Trump. They know he hasn't done anything wrong. They knew that long ago. In fact, I think they knew right from the start. Because they engineered this. They know he hasn't done anything wrong. They don't care about that. They just want him gone. And they don't, you hear things like this on, different news media like that. Well, we can't trust the American people to vote because they'll vote for Trump. Hello? Yeah, the American people voted for Trump and not Hillary. Imagine that. Isn't it something when they let the American people decide? All right, so would educating the public through the Senate prior to Barr, Durham, Huber releases be important? Critical. Because once it's going to be like a double whammy, because you're going to have the testimony in the Senate, then you're going to have Barr, Durham, Huber releases, and people are going to get a double whammy of truth there. Narratives are created and pushed to prevent the public from discovering the truth. Enemy of the people. Q. And of course, not only is the deep state enemy of the people, but so is, a yawn tried to take over my face there. Not only is, what was I just saying? I don't know. I lost it. Oh, not only is the deep state the enemy of the people, but the mainstream media is most definitely the enemy of the people. It's all propaganda now. you don't know where the propaganda starts and where the news ends. You don't know any of this because we don't even know that what we see reported on CNN or Fox or whatever is true. A lot of it isn't. And of course, because Q has been keeping us informed and keeping us digging, and we've found out so much, we're aware when they're lying. We're like, what? Where are they coming up with that? And it's become more evident. I mean, I always knew that the mainstream media was bad. I knew that it was flawed. I knew that from the time when I was in Central America and they were saying, no, there's no American planes flying overhead, or we don't have any American planes down there. And I was watching them fly over in the jungle every day. And I thought, okay, obviously you can't trust the news. Now, this was a very long time ago, so I learned it very young. But I never realized it was this bad. I cannot believe how bad it's become. All right, now we are on to the next, and it is drop 3743, 3743, title to be determined, and it is just a link, and we're going to go out there now. Why? Because Q wants us to, and that's a good enough reason for me. Okay, now this is from Kevin McCarthy. The FBI broke into President Trump's campaign, spied on him, then tried to cover it up. This is a modern day Watergate. Yes, it is. So let's listen.
Well, if you pause for one moment and you read this IG report by Horowitz, here's the FBI. They broke into President Trump at the time, candidate Trump's campaign, spied on him, and then they covered it up. It is a modern day Watergate. And you've got Democrats who aren't willing to even look into that. That is the area that we should be looking at. It's a modern day coup, the closest this country's ever came to. But the only way you can compare this to is Watergate. They broke into his campaign by bringing people into it. They have been trying to cover it up for the whole time. Now the question rises, just like Watergate. Who knew? When did they know it? And how high did this go up? Well, if you pause for one moment.
So there you go. This is a modern day Watergate, but worse. Okay. Now, let's come down to the next one, and we are on drop 3744, 3744, title to be determined. Now, this is a meme, and I love this meme. You can't stop me from loving it. All right, and we've got this. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you tiny phone people. I'm always thinking about you. I love you tiny phone people. Don't ever think I'm making fun of you. I think it's wonderful that you watch on your little tiny phones, because my eyesight is not good enough for that. I've got 20/20 vision far away, but up close, I'm blind as a bat. So yeah, me watching anything on my tiny phone, not gonna happen. All right, so we've got this meme. Haven't you figured it out yet? It's not about Trump's corruption. It's about making sure you don't find out about their corruption. That is truth in a nutshell. That's why I love memes, because they get across a deep truth so easily. I really do. And it's true, the left can't meme. And I think it frustrates them because the right, my gosh, I mean, this movement is really good at memeing. Is that a word? Memeing? I don't know. Making memes, I guess. Merry meme making. Okay, all right, and we are on the next one, and it is drop 3745, 3745, and title is to be determined, and we have another meme here, just for you. All right, Spygate. Never has a president left office to collude with others to impede the next sitting president of the United States of America until Obama. Yes, that is true. I think Obama, well, I was going to say, I think Obama is the biggest traitor. I don't know. Hillary and Obama, they're running neck and neck. They're both like really big traitors too. But Obama wasn't even qualified to be president at all. And I just saw, I should have clipped it out while I saw it, but I'll try to find it again for a later show. But a picture of him when he was much, much younger. And guess who he's sitting with? Prince Al Walid bin Talal. Yes, the guy from Saudi Arabia, who's no longer in power. All right, yeah, there's a lot about Obama that we don't know, and I think that it's going to come out and it's going to shock everyone, including me, including you. And I don't think we shock very easily. But I think that we're just scratching the surface of what we know about Obama. I really believe that. Anyway, let's come down to here, and we are now on 3746. 3746. And the title is To Be Determined. And again, it's from today, and it's a link. So we're going to go out to that link. Why? Because we can. All right. Now, this we're going to play. It says ICYMI with Maria Bartiromo on Sunday Futures. The IG's Pfizer report is a stunning indictment of the politicization, that's hard for me to say, of the Justice Department and FBI during the Obama administration. Let's hear what she has to say. Now, this is 5 minutes and 37 seconds long, but I'm going to play it in its entirety because Q has pointed it out to us, so he obviously wants us to listen. I better turn the volume up, though. There we go.
On to really what was a blockbuster IG report.
Sorry, I was trying to make it bigger here.
What struck you most?
Well, the Inspector General report is a stunning indictment of the politicization of the Obama Department of Justice and the FBI. The Inspector General report details 17 specific serious misrepresentations DOJ and the FBI made to the FISA court. By the way, the Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, was appointed by Barack Obama. And I'll give you the most stunning example the Inspector General uncovered. A senior lawyer at the FBI fabricated evidence. And here's what happened. So Carter Page is an outside advisor to the Trump campaign. He also is periodically talking to Russians, including some sketchy Russians. And so the FBI wants to get a wiretap on him. Now, an obvious question if you have someone talking to sketchy Russians is, well, are they working for the CIA? Because that's a very different inference. If someone's working for the CIA, then talking to sketchy Russians isn't that surprising.
Well,
the CIA,
he's doing work
his
for
job.
the CIA.
Right. So the FBI sends an email to the CIA. It says, hey, is this guy a source for you? The CIA emails back, and they say, yes, he's a source. The FBI Assistant General Counsel takes that email, and he alters it. He types in the words. So CIA said, yes, he's a source. The FBI lawyer types in, no, he is not a source.
Unbelievable.
180 degrees, exactly opposite. He then sends that email on to the Department of Justice that uses that as the basis for a sworn statement to the FISA court to get a wiretap. By the way, the Inspector General report also talks about it. So let me just say,
that's unbelievable.
For the IG to have found this, you want to talk about good investigating. I mean, they dug through the original documents, and someone on the IG team noticed the original email from CIA, the forwarded email, and compared and said, wait a second, these words aren't in the first one. Tell you what the IG report says. When they questioned this Assistant General Counsel at the FBI, they said, hey, how did this email change? He initially denied it. He said, oh, I don't know how it changed, no idea. And then they pressed him, and then he's like, yeah, okay, I changed it. That is on its face criminal conduct. If you or I did it in a car wreck case, if you got in a car wreck and you were in court, and you doctored fraudulent documents and submitted it to the court, you or I would serve jail time for that. That's senior leadership at the FBI. That's how badly they wanted to spy on Donald Trump and get Donald Trump. It is a horrifying abuse of power.
It's horrifying. Do you think people will go to jail?
Yes, I very much hope so. In this instance, this individual has been referred for criminal prosecution. I was encouraged by the statements that both Attorney General Bill Barr and U.S. Attorney John Durham put out, that they're continuing to investigate, that there's substantially more here. This was spying on the Republican nominee to be president. They sent in multiple confidential human sources wearing wires.
All before July 16, when they claimed the FBI counterintelligence investigation began.
And, you know, I used to be under George W. Bush. I was an associate deputy attorney general. I spent 5.5 years as Solicitor General of Texas. I've spent a lot of time in law enforcement. I got to say, in any ordinary law enforcement, any responsible leadership, if someone had come in and said, hey, let's wiretap and spy on Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton or John Kerry, it's possible, if there was a mountain of evidence and serious criminality, that you would end up approving that. But you better believe you would cross every T and dot every I, and you would press and say, all right, what's the evidence for it? What's the basis? Because you know it would get checked. One of the things that's so offensive, it's clear these guys assumed Hillary would win, which would mean there'd be no accountability at all. They could get away with this because no one would check.
While the Trump investigation was going on, there was another investigation going on into Hillary Clinton's emails. 33,000 emails gone. She was bleach bit and a hammer to get rid of her devices. I mean, if that's not obstruction, I don't know what is. And it was the same person, Peter Strzok, who was running the FBI investigation into Trump and running the investigation into Hillary Clinton. And we haven't heard anything about HRC. One
of the worst legacies of the Obama administration is the corruption of law enforcement and the intelligence community. And by the way, the big unanswered question is, how high up the chain did this go? We know that the deputy director of the FBI, McCabe, was read in and authorized this. We know the director of the FBI, James Comey, was read in and authorized this. Did the Attorney General, did Loretta Lynch sign off on spying on the Trump campaign in the middle of the election? Did the National Security Advisor at the White House? Did Barack Obama? Did Joe Biden? I got to tell you, in most administrations, if you're launching an investigation on a major political figure like the Republican nominee for president, your opponent, they would be read in. Nobody's asking those questions about whether Barack Obama and Joe Biden personally signed off on spying on and surveilling their political opponents. They did. Not a single Democrat in the House cares about the answer to any of this. It's beyond crickets. You cannot ask about abuse of power or investigation. That's wrong.
And yet here we are with the impeachment of Donald Trump. Senator, it's good to see you.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Senator Ted Cruz, we will be right back.
So that is interesting, isn't it? And you know something, I never liked Ted Cruz, and I feel really bad because I used to kind of make fun of him, and that was really wrong because I'd call him fat Dracula. I never liked him, but I am actually gaining a great deal of respect for the man. So I apologize. I don't know why I'm apologizing to you guys, but I should not have judged him so hastily. All right, now let's shut some of these down because I've got 10 million tabs open. Not quite 10 million, but it's getting up there. All right, now we are on post drop 3747, title to be determined. All right, and Q is, put this in here from an anon. It says, toying with the enemy. Don't get smug. And let me see here. I love this. And here it says, and when you finish typing, just sign it Q+. So I love that. And then, of course, Q is acknowledging that he's seen this. And I don't know. I love the memes that the Anons do. I think they are awesome. Now, that brings us up to the end of the Q post for today. Now, it's only 11:08 p.m. so Eastern time, so I don't know, but he may have posted more. Let's go out and take a quick look and see if he has. And if not, we will end that there. And I think I'm going to come back and do a little bit of news for you guys. And yes, that is, and look at that. Some of these have titles now. They were to be determined, but now they have titles. Just Sign It Q Plus and Meme, Obama's Treachery. So some of these have names now. Not that that is overly important, but hey. Okay, now, that is it for the Q post for tonight. Now, he's still got an hour to post, and he could still post. So, but that will catch us up to right now. And if he posts more, I'll have to catch that up tomorrow. But I'm going to end that for now. End this for now. And that's it. So you guys have yourself a wonderful evening. I hope you will come back and join me as I am doing another, probably a short-ish video on the news, a Q-related news. So I hope you'll come back and join me for that. And I appreciate you guys. I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. And I hope that the new year goes well for you all, that you are all blessed and highly favored. So thank you guys so much. You have been a blessing to me over the last couple years, really. But thank you so much. I appreciate you listening, you supporting, you encouraging, and you are always so kind to one another too on the comments. So I think that we have a great group of people here, and I hope that we can go forward into the new year and add even more and good people. We don't want the trolls and, Anyway, that's it for tonight. I will talk to you guys soon. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay, I don't know what I was going to say. Stay encouraged? Sure, why not? And keep seeking truth, because you know what? Deception bites.